Now, during his campaign, President Trump campaigned on the promise of America first, right? Now, basically, what that meant is, hey, I'm going to protect American jobs from going overseas. I'm going to be anti-TPP. I'm going to protect American businesses from suffering from unfair Chinese competition. Now, on TPP, he was full of shit. Yes, he pulled out of the deal, but guess what? He's negotiating his own deal, which is probably also going to be terrible. Now, it may be a surprise to a lot of Trump supporters then that he recently made a deal that will put Chinese jobs first. If you don't believe me, here's the tweet from the president that happened on Sunday. He said, President Xi of China and I are working together to give a massive Chinese phone company, ZTE, a way to get back into business fast. Too many jobs in China lost. Commerce Department has been instructed to get it done. Well, that's odd. As I said, he campaigned on America first. He's constantly accused China of currency manipulation and unfair trade practices, some of which is true. Now he's like, oh, China, Xi and I, man, we're going to help this big Chinese company get back into business because they're losing jobs. They're losing jobs. Got to work fast. Oh. Okay. Now, look, again, that seems odd with some of his past statements and stances on China, stances on trade, and of course, the Trump tariffs. Now, why would he help China then? Well, in helping China, Trump ends up helping himself. HuffPost explains. On Thursday, the developer of the theme park resort outside of Jakarta, that's in Indonesia, had signed a deal to receive as much as $500 million in Chinese government loans, as well as another $500 million from Chinese banks. Now, what does an Indonesian theme park and Chinese investment money have to do with President Trump? Well, it turns out that Trump's family business, the Trump Organization, has a deal to license the Trump name to that resort, which includes, of course, a golf course and hotels. Oh, so basically, that money is going to end up going into his pocket. So he thinks, if I help a Chinese manufacturer, then I'm going to get profit from this deal. So I help out the Chinese, they help me out. See? It's all good here. We all profit. I mean, who cares about ethics when there's money to be made? Well, that's exactly how they feel. Now, in case you're wondering, how is Trump going to make money off this? Well, you guys forget, he didn't divest from his business like he's supposed to. So, at the end of the day, he still continues to get profit from that business. Now, that's crazy it doesn't get called out more because it's clear corruption. And it's sad that more Republicans don't come out and say, hey, wait a minute, isn't that the kind of crony capitalism, isn't that kind of stuff that we rail against? No, they don't care because if they're in the same position, they would do the exact same thing. I mean, what this is that it's a violation of the Emoluments Clause. This is the president getting money from foreign governments. That is unconstitutional. And, of course, here's Trump's business that he profits from, getting money from ultimately a Chinese investor in exchange for their help. And, of course, he is helping ZTE. Now, the problem is, right, the company itself, ZTE, has also had a few problems. ZTE phones have already been described as a security risk by the United States military and the intelligence community. 2 weeks ago, the military banned their use on basis for fear that they could be used to track the locations of our service members. Now, even if you don't care about any of that, well, you might care about them breaking economic sanctions against both Iran and North Korea. And then, after doing so, they lied about it. They ended up getting fined about $1.2 billion last year for breaking those sanctions. Now, Trump later on claimed that his decision stemmed from the amount of things that ZTE buys from U.S. manufacturers. Look, we know they broke Iranian sanctions, which for some reason he doesn't care. That's funny because he pulled out of the Iran deal, which snapped a lot of sanctions back into place. So, wait, you would think that he would be in favor of more sanctions on Iran. But yet, No, he's okay with helping a company who broke sanctions on Iran get back on their feet. Well, it's because they buy a lot of stuff from American companies, and it's part of the trade deal. And plus, I have and this is true, a personal relationship with President Xi. He said nice things about me. Of course, I'm gonna help ZTE. And of course, you have the multi likely $1 million deal with the Indonesian resort, whose money will end up, of course, some of that money, that profit's going to end up right into the pockets of Donald Trump. This is corruption. This is not only corruption, but it's a violation of the Constitution. If you call yourself a constitutional conservative, which I'm sure some of you out there maybe actually are, but if you call yourself that and you end up letting this go, I don't care about the emoluments clause. Let Trump do what he's going to do. He's MAGA. Well, then you're a hypocrite. You don't believe in the Constitution. You don't believe in putting America or jobs first. All you care about is the corruption and how you love that corruption. Only when it's your guy doing it. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.